What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Sunday evening hanging out. How's everybody's weekend going? How's everybody's work week looking like? Last week, next week? What do you guys got going on? I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hopefully, my kids didn't mess up my desk too much this week. Oh, yeah, I kind of forget. Let me open up my. Nope, not that one. Let me get to our shout outs this week. So I appreciate everybody who is a YouTube member. Again, that helps with shipping and these logos that I make. A lot of guys really love, the skull logo, some of the shirt designs and stuff like that. That's not free. So I typically doodle these things, draw them out, get ideas together, and then send them out to get professionally drawn. And that stuff's not cheap. I overpaid. I once paid like $250 for a logo that I don't really use anymore. So, like I said, that stuff's not cheap. To each their own. I know there's different designers out there. And if you guys ever need a recommendation, I do have one now that is way more affordable. He does all the logos that you've seen on the shirts recently, everything from the nightwear, which is the big bleeding skull, the new one, work hard, stay humble, all those designs. He's helped me out with those. So again, I want to thank the channel members, Gary Carnell, D Tolls, Mark Morales, B1062, Darwin Hooks, True Results HTX, Brian, Chevy Runner 88, Rage Metal Freak, Lost But One, Phil Hall, and Mark Harris. I appreciate you guys for being channel members and helping us out. I am going to just kind of hint at it here, or kind of give you guys a heads up. I'm working on new stickers. I know that was like a big thing for a long time, right? And I just got slammed with requests and people hitting me up. I had to take down the one that was on my website, and I got overwhelmed with it. We are going to have some new stickers coming out very soon. I might do some sort of like, I don't want to say it like a giveaway, but like just giving them out to either, people in the live chat or something that we do, and I'll just get your information and send you those out. So we're going to have new stickers. I wanted to work on them this weekend. I'll probably have to work on them like during the week so I can get those set up. I'm not going to announce it everywhere. I mean, if you guys are watching this, you guys are the real ones, right? Hanging out. Even if you're watching this after it's already aired, I appreciate you guys for just tuning in. So stay tuned. We're going to have some cool stuff coming out very soon. And it all goes back to nightwear. So if you guys haven't yet, go check out on my website, reliablehvacr.net, the new shirts that we got. I need to organize the website again. Somebody reminded me that some of the stuff is hard to find. But if you go to all products on that website, you'll see everything listed there. Yeah, that's the dude. I always forget what the letters are. I don't know what that stands for. Just ESGDR is the guy that does my logos. If you need anything done, he is the guy to do that. Like I said, I use somebody else. Logo was great. I just felt like it was a lot of money that I put down on that, when this guy does amazing work as well. Let's see who's in the chat. What is up, everybody? I see Nasty, Brian, Mike, Vic, Freon Leon is there. I saw him in the beginning. Froggy. What's up, Mike? I'm working on that episode. Can't wait to post it. Had to work yesterday, installed a cold well in a countertop that wasn't supposed to have one. Lots of mods. Those are fun. We haven't had to do anything like that in a long time. Modifying some equipment or an area, right? They want to put something in, and it's like, well, we'll see what we can do. But that's interesting. That's cool. Um, it's always fun to do new things. That's always my thing with the work that I do. I'm at a, it's because we have so much maintenance now. I'm at a point where we're doing a lot of the same things over and over. So I'm getting into like more of a training role. Just kind of want to get the guys up to speed as far as what I look for on certain service calls or maintenance calls or whatever it is. Hey, do this first before you do anything else. Like, I kind of want them to get their basics in like troubleshooting or just cleaning. I was on some maintenance with them, training them on the ones that I do, because they help me out with another one. And sometimes they help our senior tech. But when I showed them like, hey, this is how you do it, I felt like it was a lot of information, right? I'm like, check the drains, check the belt, clean up the blower area, right? I don't want any dust or dirt that's accumulated. If you can take it out, I want you to take it out. If you need to go get a vacuum, go get a vacuum. Blow out all the drains and take apart the panel, take apart the fan if you have to, whatever you need to do to clean out that coil. And there was a lot of little things, tightening belts, making sure there's extra belts, kind of going through the electrical, checking the contactors. I don't expect them or myself to be changing contactors every few months, but they go bad pretty quickly, right? You get a lot of that, the contacts wear out, they arc, stuff like that. So we're just looking for anything that can be prevented, which is why it's a PM, a preventative maintenance. Just want to make sure we cover everything. And if they go behind us, this is my biggest thing, is like, if you're working, especially for me, because I have this mentality too, act like somebody is watching over your shoulder, or act like somebody is going to go and inspect your work. I mean, I'm not going to do it. I want to trust them, and I'm usually training them. That's when I'm like watching, but like they need to be able to do their own calls. So I'm not going to babysit them every week. It's just, I want them to act like they're going to get inspected, right? So if anybody goes behind them and takes off that panel and the customer says, yeah, they were just here doing the maintenance, does it look visibly clean? Like, is everything been vacuumed out? Is the drain clear? I even go as far as to tell them if the compressors are dirty, like spray them down. And I'm not expecting them to scrub them or anything, but like hose them down a little bit, make sure you can see the labels, stuff like that. Brush out the electrical compartment, stuff like that. Just like when you take it off, I want to make sure that it looks like it's been cleaned recently. And you can tell they're horrible. We've already done a few rounds on one customer, and they do look way better now. We just went through those recently, and I told them these are not going to be so bad because I've been doing already a couple rounds, and it's only twice a year, so I've only done like a couple. And you take them off, and they're not that dirty actually. So pull and clean is a whole different story. We're not taking out the blower, which I wouldn't want them to, because if they can't put it back together or they can't take it apart, that's a whole other issue. Just clean as much as you can and make sure you get it to where, because we do have other companies that work with these customers. So typically another company is going to see my work or is going to see my maintenance come back. They're going to come on the weekend or after hours, which I'll get into right now as to why that happens. But typically somebody does see the work that I do, and I want to make sure that they don't have anything to say or anything bad to say about me, anything that they can steal the customer from me, any of that nonsense, right? If they try to steal work from me or they try to get in, it's because they were just cheaper or something along those lines, not because I did anything bad or my company did. What's up, Jason? Oh, man. And I need to get, where's my... Before I forget, today's live stream is presented by Ambro Controls. I'm going to get more into some brazing videos very soon. I'm going to do some more content just showing the stuff that I do with their torch kit. Like I've said before, they have like a jeweler's torch is what people compare it to, because it's a super small mini set. It has a proprietary oxygen tank, which is fine. You don't refill it. You just buy another one, because it's basically, think about it like a MAP gas tank, right? Cylinder. And it uses MAP gas. So you can use MAP gas and their oxygen tank to give you oxyacetylene, basically, or to replace your oxyacetylene. And that thing gets plenty hot. And if you can get the precision, precision handle with the hose, that's perfect. It's great. It's super lightweight. And I personally only do up to 7/8 copper line set. I've done compressors with it. I've done full changeouts with it. I've done patches with it. It's really great for that kind of work. Doing the U-bends on the ends of the coils and stuff like that. Perfect. Doing these walk-in boxes where the ends are leaking. Again, perfect. So I've had good luck with it. It gets plenty hot to do the big jobs, and it's precise enough to do the small patches and repairs, valves. It's perfect for all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't yet, go check out my videos on the Ambro Controls torch set. It is an investment. I understand that. So for me, I do buy them I do get them for our other guys. Our technicians are all going to have access to one of their sets, and I'm going to make it like a standard in our company. So that's how much I love it. I'm using it. I want all of our guys to use it, and it just helps. It's something like that. It like, whether it's that or some of the other tools that you've seen me use, it's like, people always ask me, why do you pay more for something? Obviously it costs more than a traditional set. Not much if you think about it, but people always ask me, why are you going to pay a little bit extra for that when you already have something? Because I like convenience. And for my guys, just because I'm still in the field, I've gone through it too. When you're lifting your nitrogen tank, your torches, a compressor, several motors, whatever it is, to a rooftop, and you're already spent, it's like 100 degrees outside. It gets 110 is pretty common here. You're spent, you're exhausted, you're burnt out. So anything I can do to make that easier, to where it's a little bit quicker, not as much heavy lifting, you don't have to worry about like exerting yourself too much. That's where something like that benefits you. And like I said, I like it so much that I'm going to get it for everybody else. And it's just a really cool set. So it fits in an MB3. That's where I have mine. So you can imagine it's a small little set, but it works really great. Just make sure you have a few spare oxygen tanks on your truck. My Johnstone and Insco carry them, so it's not a big deal. And I think the bottles are like $30 a bottle. It'll last me weeks. So just a heads up, Ambro Controls is a proud sponsor of this stream, and I'll have more content kind of like showing you guys how to braze, how to do patch repairs. All that's coming, and that's thanks to Ambro. We can get that series kicked off. They have the power torch, I believe it's called, and I do have it so I can demo it, but I would have to buy something that big to use it on, because it goes up to 3-inch pipe if you have the power torch attachment. Like, it's basically the tip or the handle that's specific for that kind of work. So if you have the small, handle, it's for, anything up to 7/8. If you have the one that it comes with, you can do a little bit more, like an inch, 2 inches. And then if you have the power torch, that's 3-inch, up to 3-inch pipe. Again, Jason, it depends on what you do. I don't do I don't do the kind of work that you do. 7/8 is the biggest pipe that I see. Only one location has an inch and an eighth because it is a hospital, and that's the way their walk-in boxes were ran, right? They're big ass. They're not even big walk-ins. It's just a long, not even that long of a run actually. It's just it has big equipment on these little boxes. Because the room itself is like a 15 by 15 or 12 by 12, something in that range, and it has inch and an eighth suction lines. I forget what the liquid is, but like I feel like that's overkill. But that's what they have, and that's what we kept it at, right? I'm not redoing the whole thing, but for that, I've been able to use. You can use these torches for that stuff too. Yeah, they got the big one. They got another one that I want to try out really bad for small equipment. It's a direct attachment for the map gas. So you can how you would like soft solder, like if you're plumbing, they have one that's supposed to get hot enough to braise. I just haven't. I don't think I've had to braise in a while. Yeah, it's a good one. The MB4B. I have. It's because I had an extra MB3, and that's what I put it in for now. I want to change it to a different bag, but we'll see. And now they have the bigger oxygen cylinders. So if you do want more, they do sell a bigger size. It's like twice the size now, which is ridiculous. For me, again, light commercial. I think it would benefit residential guys too. Not so much on the industrial side of things. No, I actually have not worked. We do that work. We do the morgue stuff. We didn't used to, and I think we were going to, and then we didn't, and now they got us into it. So we do that work. I personally have not had to work on that. One of the guys takes those calls, which is fine. But the ones that I'm talking about is for the kitchen. They have two walk-in freezers, and they're actually the freezers that are like inside the cooler. It's one giant fan for that evaporator, and the condenser's kind of big too. And for some reason they use, or that's the setup that they have. It gets incredibly cold. It does maintain -10 extremely easy. But yeah, they just have big equipment for these walk-in boxes. Like I said, I feel like it's a little bit overkill. It's just the way that they had it, and I've told them just to keep it because it does so well. Like it works really well. All their stuff's always frozen. It's a pain in the ass right now because the guys are having to redo some of the drain line. They've had issues with the drain line, and it runs, through the freezer and then out the cooler and then outside. So if you guys ever work on freezers that get that cold and it's still working, but you got to work on the drain line, you got to take a torch, you got to take something to break it up and get rid of all that ice so you can work on it, so you can replace the drain heater, whatever you need to do. Re-insulate that all while it's like under zero there. Even if you shut off the unit, it stays around that temperature. It's not going to get warm in there, obviously. Yeah, I haven't had to. There's been a couple times where I was supposed to go in and somebody else took it before I could get there, and I was like, I'm not. I haven't done it. I've been told that by the guys. I just personally haven't had to do it. They're cool to work in, says Mike. The racks. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, Jason. Just light commercial. Let's see. Oxyacetylene. See, like, I tried the what's the other one? The turbo torch, right? The air acetylene. It was really cool. It just it just sucked compared to oxyacetylene. So at that point, see, it has to make sense for me. That, like I said, with the Ambro Controls, I don't care if they sponsor this live stream. I don't care what they, what they pay or what they send me. Like I've mentioned with other brands, which I wanted to get into a little bit today. We'll probably get more into this on HVAC Nights Thursday night. If you haven't yet, go check out HVAC Nights live every Thursday. That's where we rant a little bit more. But see, like for Ambro Controls, I like it so much that I will continue to buy it. They don't send me like the refills and everything like that. They did last year, but just so I could get into it. But like I've been buying and telling my guys, just buy the refills, buy the oxygen, whatever you need for it. And they have the whole kit, like the precision handle and everything. And like I said, I'll buy it if I like it, right? I'll continue to buy it. I had the turbo torch. I bought because we had one, I guess that one of our guys used or something, and it was left behind. It was in our warehouse. I got it. I fixed it up, changed out the hose, the handle, and I used it. That one I didn't like personally, and I know a lot of guys use it, but I didn't like it so much so that I just took it off the van. It's in my garage right now. If any one of my guys wants to try it out, I'll gladly give it up. But that's one instance where like I didn't like it enough to where I went back to oxyacetylene because it is so much more precise. Turbo torches get too hot. You'll burn wires and stuff that are not even that close. You could focus it right in front of you, but if there's any wires within like a foot, they're gonna melt. So you have to, even if you're doing like a quick braise, if you're using that air acetylene, you have to block off a whole bunch of stuff and make sure you don't burn anything that's like a foot behind it, because that's how much heat it gives off. It's not concentrated. It's also super loud. I work in kitchens, I work in restaurants, and I work a lot when they're open. And if I have to take a turbo torch, we're going to get some complaints about noise. So I didn't see it being worth to keep. So I went back to oxyacetylene. That's still, the best go-to. I don't use my oxyacetylene. It's actually in my garage as well, but only because the Ambro one was just as good, just way lighter, way easier to maneuver with. And that's my go-to now. Oh, let's see. Let me see. I need to go back. I know a lot of the chat. Where have I seen him? Is he here on YouTube? Hillbilly Refrigerator. I've seen that name. I might be following him or subscribed to him. I'll have to inquire about that. Let me go back a bit. When we had talked, Mike, I thought you had said you didn't work weekends, and now you're working 3 in a row. Let's see. So much equipment at the Army base. Interesting. I've talked about getting into that kind of work here and there. I've been told, or asked if I would do it. At one point I would have. Right now I think we're doing a little too well that I don't want to take anything that is crazy like that. Because yeah, if they have a bunch of equipment, it's a big deal. All right, I'm getting lost over here. Let's see. Only got called out once this weekend. Bar type, they have a cold well for the kids to have hibachi. Remove the tile. Nice. Your back's not feeling good? Let me see. Asked me if I wanted to hit the call Friday night or Saturday morning. Friday night, kitchen was dead. Interesting. I've done the calls that are like in 11 o'clock at night or something like that when it's like dead, and those are always cool. It sucks to work overnight, but you know you get a lot more room. Highlight of my weekend was yelling at a kid riding a dirt bike through my 5-year-old's birthday party. Oh man. Let's see. In the process of changing a bunch of contactors on some PMs I'm doing. Some locations have like 10 to 12 RTUs. They take so long, but I hate it, but it has to get done. See, we typically see 3 to 4 per location, and we might have like one of them gives us 18 stores, right? And I mean, you do the math, that's like 60. I don't know. It's a whole bunch of stores. There's some that have 3 or 4 units, but typically it's like 3. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to be changing the contactors frequently. I actually get upset when when we get there, because we just had one and I have to give them a recommendation, because I was like, it was like a Friday afternoon or something. I was like, I'm not going to do all this right now. They didn't even know it wasn't working. So we get there on a maintenance. I'm trying to tell the guys how to do the maintenance. And then like the last one we pull up to, because I had told them, typically I go check all the thermostats. If they're not on, I turn them all on so that we can get on the roof and see if they're working right. Typically I'll go to all the condenser fans, and if it's blowing like hot air, I'm like, okay, it should be cooling. And one of them wasn't. I looked inside and it was iced up. So at that point I was like, let's see what we can find. And of course, both compressors, one is so low on charge that it won't even turn on, because it does have, pressure controls. And the other one was, I guess, borderline, where it was icing up. So I was like, all right, cool. We got a whole unit down, and we were, just trying to finish up. So I had to recommend a leak check, which at that point, both coils are leaking inside and out. It's an old system, so I was like, I can top it off, or you can look to get a new unit. I can also quote you for those coils, but it's going to take quite a bit of time. And it's, like I said, evaporator and condenser, basically on both stages. Taking it apart, charging for at least 2 guys, all that kind of stuff, when we could just change it out. You get warranty, and, don't worry about it. So we'll see what they say. I got to go back to check on it, but that's one thing, because I've always been so busy that I do all the maintenance. Now I have help. We've hired 2 people. So now they're doing maintenance. My brother still does a lot of the hospital and refrigeration maintenance. And maybe I won't be in a rush now, and I can tell them, hey, if it takes you all day, it takes you all day. It's whatever, right? You guys are learning. But just make sure it's done the right way. So if you need contactors, if you need belts, whatever it is, take care of it. When I do it, like this month, I'm anxiously waiting for this month to end, because it's just been so hectic, and I have to finish those maintenance, which I still have like 8 or 9 left. So I have a week and 2 days to finish 9 of those, I believe, because they're all due by the 31st. So it just always hits me like that. Even if I get ahead of it, because they give me like 2 or 3 months to do them. Even if I get ahead of it, it just gets so hectic that I'm always doing them last minute. And then I get upset when there's extra calls. I don't want extra calls when it's busy. When it's slow, yes. Give me a fan motor. Give me a broken belt. Give me something to to charge for. But it's been hectic all year this year. Let's see. Let me see if I can catch up here. I had seen some of these comments. True results. All I use now for servers, Ambro Controls, is legit, especially for refrigeration repairs. It's been fantastic. That's all I can say. I have a bunch of videos where I'm replacing compressors and doing patches, and you're gonna see that kit. You're not gonna see me use anything else anymore. Love my Ambros. God, I've been losing my voice today. Love my Ambro set. So much nicer than lugging the big set. Can you imagine? Because I've done a lot of drop ceilings, right? You got a walk-in box. You got to get into the drop ceiling, climb on top, drag your torches across that thing, and then there's always beams and pipes and conduit. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last time. Like, some of the locations have used that area for storage. There's chairs and boxes and all these weird things up there. So getting a torch set, sometimes I tell my brother to hold it at the ladder so I can unravel it and hopefully reach wherever I'm going to, so I can just take the handle, right? But that sucks because somebody has to be there at the ladder to hold it, and it doesn't always reach if it's too far. So typically you are gonna lug it with you. So I would much rather have the Ambro set, which is way lighter, and it's just been, I haven't missed. Let me just put it this way: I haven't missed my Oxy acetylene set. Love my Ambro mini torch kit. I feel like the oxygen will last enough, right? It does enough, and if you have 2 or 3 spares, you're fine. And you just need to make sure you charge for everything that you use, whether it's nitrogen, oxygen, whether it's regular, like for your regular set, or the Ambro. Make sure you charge for that. Charge for your gases and whatever you're using. Like there's a charge or there's a fee, and it'll cover it. Like, you don't have to worry about it. And like I've said before, especially in commercial, but I'm sure it pertains to residential too. They're not gonna really bat an eye, and if they do, I mean, you don't want those customers. They wouldn't bat an eye for an extra 20, 30 bucks, whatever you want to charge for the use of that. And I kind of bundle it all together where it covers our oxygen, nitrogen, MAP or acetylene, the rods that we use. I kind of try to put it all in one, and it's a fee, and it covers whatever we use. It's a lot more, but it's an all-in-one fee, so they don't see like too many line items. It's like, this is our torch fee, right? And it covers what we need it to cover. That way everything is accounted for and paid for, and that cost that everybody's worried about gets covered on your jobs. Let's see. Still have to do a birthday party. Well, hopefully Jake is back this coming week and we can talk about it. But yeah, I wanted him to be there, and he had to work late. But yeah, back-to-back birthdays. Have you modified the torch case to accept the newer, bigger oxygen? I have not. I wanted to use, because like I said, I was using the MB3 to carry everything. I wanted to use the case again, and I was interested to see how we could make it work. So I'll look into it. I have the case right now in my garage because I put it away, but I took it out again. I need to ask them what their solution is for that. Like they're selling the bigger oxygen tanks, but like, is there a different case? Are we supposed to do that on our own? But I'll figure it out, and I'll show it. Like I said, I'll have some videos up very soon. Just need to find time to work on them. It's been crazy right now. But like I said, once September's over, I'll have more time to catch up with work, catch up with paperwork. Paperwork's been a whole other thing. We just bought a few vehicles. I need to get those wrapped, but that's a whole bunch of like back and forth with the wrap people, like trying to make sure everything's perfect. When can we take it in? All that kind of stuff. It's been crazy. Turbo torch. Yeah, it's just loud. I'm going to get in. Okay. Sir Master of None. Give me a second. I just don't like the noise. It's too loud. Typically I'm working in areas where they're going to complain. Hospitals are going to complain. So, but yes, turbo torch, or like what I've wanted to do is, aluminum repairs. You're supposed to use like a low heat. It could be propane or a MAP gas. So I'm not interested too much in the turbo torch anymore, but I'll use like the MAP gas by itself, right? You get the right torch head for it and you can use that. I just haven't had a chance or gotten anything approved. I've come across a few, like 2 or 3 aluminum leaks that we found them. We knew where they were and we could have patched them. Just haven't been given a chance to do them. This was out of town, so I guess they got somebody else, or I don't know what they did. But I really wanted to try. I've only done 1 or 2 repairs, and I think I did use a propane set that I had, and it worked. It's just it was a long crack. Basically, it was an RTU, so the condenser coil was microchannel, and then it transitioned to copper and went inside, right? So that little coupling, the coupling was fine. That aluminum side, that discharge line, had a crack way down the middle. I patched it, but I just went over it. There was a few things that I probably could have done better, but it lasted until we got the new coil in, because we had kind of warned them that it might happen again. I forgot the condition of it. And it did start leaking again. So I was like, okay. But like I said, that was my first time working with aluminum, trying to figure out how to solder that. I believe at the time, personally, I prefer the Lucas solder right now. I can't even get solder weld, which is a shame. I'm about to make an order on TrueTech Tools. They have no solder weld, so I'm gonna just buy some at my local store. And nobody here has solder weld. It's the Lucas mill hop, or however you say it. So I'm gonna have to go back to that one. I haven't been able to get solder weld in a while. I don't know what's going on with that company. That's a whole other story. But I actually like the aluminum from the Lucas, which is it has a flux core in the middle. You don't have to do anything else, and it worked. Like, it worked fine. So again, I could have done a few things to do that repair better because it was a crack. I've heard you can drill the ends, right? So that it doesn't run anymore. Cause I think what happened is it ran again. There's different methods. I haven't been able to do it. And what I want to do at some point is try and get like a scrap coil to kind of test these methods on and stuff like that. But that's going to be a while. We haven't done any change outs with a microchannel in recently. So when I do come across one, I will try to keep it for scrap and experiment with it or practice. All right. Sir Master of None. Mike, they don't. Well, they might, but hold on. So I have... Yes, they do. Somebody needs to make a Vito pack, right? And there should be maybe a couple different kinds. I don't have my iPad with me, but like Vito, how do I say this? They're great. They have a lot of stuff that's coming out. They have a lot of ideas. They have a design team. I work with that design team. If you guys have any recommendations, I can always pass those along. If you need any connects, anything. The only thing is like they're a little hard to work with. So here's the thing, like that MB3 sling bag, I helped with that. The insert for the EDC backpack that they have, the EDC LCB, whatever it's called, the insert that holds tools, I helped with that. So if I show you my iPad, I probably have it on my phone too, but if I were to show you my notebook, I have those drawings. And they told me, I don't want to say anything bad. They're great. They told me that well, on those specifically, they said, "Oh, those are cool ideas, this and that." And if you look at my drawings from before those things came out, those two items that I'm talking about, if you look at my drawings, they look exactly like the final final product. I work with them. I don't really get it paid or what do you call it? Or there's no incentive for me there. And I don't get credit. None of that happens. So I did have drawings and a design for a torch bag, basically. And it's just based on what I've done with my own. So if you guys will go watch my videos, if you've seen my Klein that I have my torch set in, Klein backpack, that was like an idea that I had, but of course I drew something that I thought Vito could do with it. They wanted me to make a pitch. They wanted me to film a video for them. But if you talking with other people that have worked with them, I just don't know if it's I don't know what you call it. I don't need much. It's just I don't like the idea of them claiming that it was their idea. So me and a fellow co-host have pitched them ideas to be told no, or to be told we already had that. And then the final product is exactly what we had drawn or recommended. So not getting credit, not getting, any sort of payment for it or anything on that back end, not even getting a damn discount code for you guys, is why I haven't pushed it. But I do have my own design and drawings of this. Maybe eventually we'll see one. I just kind of held back because of the experience that I've had. And I don't know what's going to happen because this year has been very weird, if I'm being honest, working with Vito since they've sold. They told me nothing would change, but it's been a little weird. So I'm keeping those drawings to myself, and I'll figure out what I want to do with that later. There are other companies that are coming in strong. You never know what can happen, so we'll see. But yeah, Mike, you were like, they probably already have one in the works. I feel like that's their excuse for everything, and they're like, yeah, we already thought of that, but thanks for the idea. I just don't want to piss anybody off, because if you guys saw my whole thing with JB or Hvac, they are really on me whenever I post. I didn't know that they watched that hard. But I've had some interesting confrontations with them, with different companies. That's kind of in line with what we do, and then we charge like a vacuum and recovery as well. So it might be up to like $80 or something, $85. I think it's even more right now, just because of all the crap that we've had to deal with the A2Ls. But yeah, that's pretty in line. I mean, and if you think about it, even that one tank from Ambro, like I said, costs like $30, $35. You're gonna get more than one use out of it. It already pays with that fee, right? So it's for your gases like your nitrogen, oxygen, MAP, or acetylene, whatever it is, and you're good. Yeah, Jake. Yeah, I watched the video. I think Chris even commented over there. He had an exhaust that he was working on, and I told him, oh yeah, typically like a bad belt or whatever. And I was like, if it's a motor, they're not too bad, but they're hard. And he's like, oh, it's a direct drive. And I was like, yeah, it's doable, but I don't recommend it. So you can either quote the whole thing, or you can get, the assembly, or try to take it apart. So we don't deal with a lot of direct drive. We do more of the belt driven exhausts, and it's those are pretty simple. And it's usually a bad belt, a broken belt, or the motor's going bad, like the bearings and stuff. And those are simple enough to replace, even if it's a completely different motor. That's the hardest part, is when you get like a cross reference motor. I don't do them enough to have all that information off the top of my head, but like when you change out the motor, you get like a universal one or like a replacement. You just got to make sure you wire it correctly for the right voltage, tidy it up, put it back together, make sure everything's good, like tidy, and you're good. Direct drive, the couple that we've done, it's just honestly cheaper and easier to replace the whole hood. And typically they would need the whole hood because they're pretty beat up, or they're not taken care of. So yeah, I warned him. I was gonna leave him a comment like, I warned you. I mean, he gave it a good try, but I warned him. I need to get a heat gun. I don't have. Well, I do have one. I forgot where I got it from, but I want the Milwaukee one, because we've had a lot of freezers recently where I have to melt the ice, and it's a pain in the ass to get water in there. It takes longer, but it's always good to have a heat gun. Just, yeah, not for brazing. Darwin, saludos. What is up? What's up, Brian? Uh, that's what happens when you're honest with your opinion on their cheap or proprietary products. Um, so yeah, let me make sure to miss anything else first. So here's the thing. Navac also is another. So Subco, Solderweld, there's a few others in that umbrella. They've been bought. Like they're going a different route. I haven't seen. It hasn't been the same with that company. That's why I mentioned I can't even get their products right now. Like the Solderweld stuff. Who's the other one? Navac is supposedly being bought out, or just bought out from some company, and I've heard things have changed. It's not going well for the, I don't know what you call it, but like the relationship with the consumers, right? The consumer end. Um, JB, somebody made a point to me. I do respect them because they came back at me. I I still want to coin the phrase Fisher Price probes, but it's just so, like, I posted about their probes breaking. Guys, I got so many messages, so many comments. People that had to turn them in, get them replaced, only for them to break again. And I don't know if... Rodriguez, I do have a Elitech. We'll talk about Elitech. Right now, we'll talk about different brands. So, like, I got a bunch of messages that they broke them, they replaced them, they broke again, and there's this whole cycle with their warranty claims, right? And it's just the plastic that they use. Like, as soon as I got them, they felt cheap. I talked to somebody else who was trying to work with them, so he was trying to be a little bit nicer about it. And he's like, no, as soon as I got them, I felt how bad they were. Again, JB has reached out. We just never really worked on anything. I did do a couple of videos because they sent me products, but like those were just like an unboxing showing you how to use them. And then obviously came my honest review, which they weren't happy with. Immediately got messages that if I could, or that I should have done that privately instead of posting about it publicly, which I told them my only, the only people that I care about or that I owe anything to is the viewers that go and look up JB probe review or looking up different probes, which to buy, you know, stuff like that. Kids typically are, you know, a lot of those viewers, younger technicians, people that earn money that can't afford to buy something more than once. They want to buy something and it lasts, or they want to make sure they're getting their money's worth, whatever it is. That's who the videos are for. So yes, they were upset with me. I have the messages from them. I have the emails from Hvac. Super upset. What do I care? They're companies. These are the products that we have to buy. It should be said, right? What your experience is with them. So I had so many messages from people, and I don't want to take the credit for making them fix this problem, but it had been going on for so long. I don't even know how long the probes have been out. Maybe a year, 2 years, whatever it is. Like, they've been out for a while. And only until this whole fiasco did they say, oh, we're actually changing the material. So I was checking my emails. I'm supposed to get it either tomorrow or Tuesday, but this is the new version of the JB probe. So if you guys have JB probes and they've broken on you, reach out, claim warranty, so that hopefully you can get this new version that they change the material on. I haven't had a chance yet. Like I said, they're coming in tomorrow or Tuesday. I want to see if they even feel different, right? And then I want to throw them in the bag, because all I did with the other ones was I threw them in the bag, and just from pushing up against other tools, like, they all cracked. And it's not an oil or chemical thing, because somebody mentioned like, oh, maybe it's because the refrigerant oil got on and it caused a reaction. Because the clamp that broke on me, I wish I was recording, but I had a video where the clamp broke on me. I don't think that clamp was ever used. It just sat in my van because my field piece is my main set. The JBs are what I use just to see if the unit has any refrigerant or if it's flat or something like that. And I was like, oh, today I'm going to use the clamp, and it just freaking broke on me. So I was like, that wasn't even used. Never got dirty, never got thrown around or anything, and it broke, right? So we'll see how the new ones are. Like I said, I do respect them because they did hit me up. I had blocked them from the post. They still saw it, so they're watching no matter what through other accounts or whatever it is, or somebody told on me. If you guys told on me, it was kind of funny though. So they gave me a wink face and they said, you know, again, if you would have just talked to us instead of posting it on Instagram, you know, we had your probes on the way. So whatever it is, I feel like it had to be said. And I do respect them for not shying away or not just cutting ties with me entirely, because they still sent me the new version. So obviously I am going to do an update video on those, and we'll see how they do. Still waiting for Hvac. Hvac, I think, fixed Measure Quick, and they fixed their app. So if you guys have their probes or were thinking about it, they fixed the apps because they weren't working before. They were useless. And I don't know how this got by. With Hvac, the apps were useless. So I was like, you can't even use the damn probes. So I returned mine. I bought mine. They fixed that, but when I reached out to them recently, they said they were still working on the magnets because the magnets suck. So they said they were still working on the magnets, and I'm not sure if there was anything else that had to be done. I would love to use them, but they're not. From what I understand, they weren't ready. So they said eventually, because I'm not supposed to share that email either. They told me not to, but eventually I'm supposed to get an updated version, and they wanted an update on that. In that message, they said, thank you for bringing this up, because they weren't aware of it. I'm like, how are you not aware that your probes don't work? So again, I don't want to take full credit, but because other people were complaining. But again, another company, we found issues right away. Not until I made a big deal about it did they actually say, oh yeah, we're working on it. So yeah, tried and true field piece. I bet they're laughing right now at everybody else with all the mistakes that the other people are making, because field piece, unfortunately, don't have to do anything. They made really great probes that have been outlasting others that have been trying to do it. Thoughts on Elitech. So Elitech emailed me. I have worked with them before, a long time, like years ago. Elitech is always my recommendation if you don't want to spend, you know, $600 or more on these tools. Elitech has really good leak detectors. They are the same exact leak detectors that Hillmore uses. So if you go look at a Elitech and a Hillmore, because I use Hillmore, they are identical. Our guys use Elitech leak detectors because I've gotten a few sent out to me. Scales. The scales, again, look identical to Hillmore and Fieldpiece. They all look the same. Elitech has options, so they have good scales. They have the wired option, the wireless option, all good from what I can tell. Gauges are good. So I want to say Elitech was the one that figured out to do like a day mode and a night mode, because I had issues with the Hvac digital gauges that they had because you couldn't see crap in sunlight. Elitech, from what I've heard, they are visible if you want like the fancy ones. But even the little ones, they have these really basic ones that like are, it's like digital, but it's like that old school digital clock, you know, style. And it just gives you the pressures, the temperatures, and the refrigerant. And it's a 3-port manifold. I have one as a backup, and I think it's great. I gave a couple to our guys, and you know they liked them. I tried to give them the Hvac Flex color gauges. They didn't like them because they didn't do superheat, right? It didn't do much, and it didn't even do your. Did it? No, it did do your saturation, but again, Elitech is a really good affordable option. I'm not gonna hate if you use Hvac. I think it's a good option, and they emailed me. I'm just waiting to see if they're gonna want to do anything so I can kind of showcase maybe some of my favorite products from Elitech. I like their gauges and I like their scale and leak detectors. I haven't messed with anything else or looked into anything else. And there we go. Brian. He has a wireless scale and the manifolds. No issues. I really like their manifold. I will say that. I would recommend that one over the Hvac ones. Hvac just makes good copper tools, right? The expander, bender, and the what's the other one? The expander, the bender, and the flaring tool. Milwaukee variable speed fan on low speed aimed at a braze joint to keep phosgene away is a life hack. Yeah. Have you ever? It's always the oil, the trapped oil that gets you, right? When you're trying to undo a compressor, because everybody's like, oh, cut it out, cut everything out, cut out the dryer, which I try to do like almost always, but like a compressor, I can't cut out a compressor because typically you would have to repipe it to because you never have slack, right? The new one sits there and the copper barely meets. But when you're unsweating it and you pull it out and there's a pocket of oil or something, you get hit with it, and you got to make sure that you stay away from it because you're always there concentrating and trying to make sure you're just focused on it, and then you get hit with that, and the smell is intense. I've had it hit me so many times. I've cleared out a whole building because of it. I worked on a little reach-in cooler that was 134A, and I hit it. I think I was unsweating the filter dryer, which after that I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. Trying to unsweat the dryer, and then boom, a whole bunch of it came out, and it smelled. I'm trying to cover my mouth and trying to like look away, and then I just hear coughing from everybody. Everybody's like, what is that? And just panicking. And then yeah, we cleared out a whole kitchen and building, and I was like, my bad. Yeah, basically, Pat. Basically, I've been I've been dabbling in other brands because I've gotten away from the manifold. The main reason I had everything field piece, which I mean they work, right? I don't think I don't think I've had issues with field piece. But the main reason I stayed with them is because I had an S-Man that connected to my scale, my wireless clamps, to everything, right? And the psychrometers, and like you could connect everything together. I'm not using that manifold anymore. I'm trying to stick to probes. So I don't have a reason to stick to one brand. So we're gonna try out a few different ones, and we'll see. Like I said, hopefully I can recommend. But Brian actually uses a couple of the Elitech ones. I'm trying to see if I can get a couple of them to try out, and I'll give you guys like a recommendation. But I do honestly recommend Elitech because I've used a couple of their products, and they are just exactly like other brands. It's just a different color and a different name. If you look at them side by side, they are identical. And they've managed to keep the price super low. Like you can get some of their stuff super cheap. You can get it on Amazon too. They have an Amazon store. And yeah, the only thing is field piece, they work, right? If that is like that whole thing is like if you want to invest in good tools that will last you, like that is your typical field piece tool or product. But their leak detector costs you like $600 or $700, and then like Hillmore Elitech, it could be like $300 or even less probably. So, take your pick. Depends on what your budget is and what you basically what you want. If you want to go all out, field piece is really cool if you can get all of them together and you use like the S-Man. and you can check your scale in the S-Man. You can check, or you hook up your wireless clamps. But again, I think I'm kind of pushing for more people to use probes, just because there's no refrigerant loss. There's less risk of refrigerant burn, which is a big deal. Don't want anybody losing their fingers, and don't want anybody just pulling a vacuum through their manifold. I used to do that on small equipment, and I've tried to cut everything out. So everything is, the valve core tools, some 3/8 hoses, and try not to use a manifold. Those workers at restaurants always want an excuse to leave work and still get paid. Had a restaurant close since I was working on a small region that they barely used. Yeah. The only ones that have that is Testo and Hvac, I believe. I believe. Does Ellie? No, I think it's Testo. Just Testo and Hvac. I feel like there's another company that does it. I just can't remember. It's not Fieldpiece. If anybody knows, let me know, or I'll bring up that on Thursday when we talk on HVAC Nights. That's where we do more of the show and tell. So if you guys, can make it out on Thursday evening, we will talk about the solenoid chargers. Somebody asked me about that recently, and I haven't tried it. It's like you set it to weigh it in. It's a gimmick. I never found a reason to buy one, so that's why I don't have one, because I'm typically there doing it. You don't hear much about them anymore. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's not only Tesla. I'm pretty sure there's others that do it. It's just not. It's one or two other ones that might do it. And the whole thing with that, I never understood it. If you guys use it, let me know. Like I said, maybe we'll bring it up on nights. But I don't know. I guess if you're gonna clean up or do something else and you wanted to charge it in, but typically we have it off. You have it in a vacuum. You let it rip on the liquid or the receiver. You let it rip, and I can almost get like 80% or more of it in, right? Whatever the pounds is. And then you turn that sucker on and you get the last pound in there, whatever it is. And I don't typically have much of a use for it. There we go. Yeah, so it is Elitech. Because I was recently looking at Elitech, and I was like, I think they had one. I just couldn't remember. So Elitech, Hvac, and Testo have that charging solenoid if you want it. All it does is you tell it what all you do is tell it what you are charging, whatever pounds or ounces. Open it, and it'll close it off when it reaches whatever it's set to, right? So it's just automatic charging. If you need that, those brands have it. I never had a use for it. Oh yeah, that actually, Matt brings up a good point. The Testo app. So I've used the Testo app now because I have their thermal imager. I really like their app. Their app with Fieldpiece is what I like. I'm not a MeasureQuick person. I do use MeasureQuick now because I'm using the JB probes, and that's really the only reason I use my MeasureQuick app. But I do like the Testo app, and there's so much more. Oh yeah, the graph. It has a lot of cool stuff in it. So I'm trying to look into Testo again to see if I like it, as far as like their tools. I want that solenoid so I can turn on and off nitro for brazing a line set that I haven't packed, but I haven't picked one up yet. That is thinking outside the box. I never thought about that, because I've had some where I'm like, damn it, nobody turned off the nitrogen in it, and it's like we brazed or whatever, or you're flowing nitrogen, you braze, you're doing something, and either you stop to move on to like wiring or something else, right? Or something goes wrong, and then you got to send somebody to go run and turn it off. So like that is actually a cool scenario for it, something like that. I need to look into them. If I get to talk to LA Tech, I'll be like, send me one of those. We need to test this out. Really, I haven't looked around on the field piece. Mike says they have a capacitor underload tester like HVAC school. Well, again, another topic for either next week or Thursday. Testing a capacitor under load. Typically, but I only do commercial. It's not something I do normally. But yeah, there is it's good to do, right? Because when the unit's on, you can see if it's still, what it's rated for, versus like, because sometimes there's a difference. Sometimes it's the same when you test it off or when you test it on, and sometimes you might have a difference. I've never had that experience to where a capacitor will test good, but it's actually bad. Under electrical. Oh, okay. I need to look at that. I wanted to do a demo with that and do like a demo for power factor and all that other stuff. It's been on my list of to-do things, so I'll try that as well, and we'll do it with the field piece. All right, guys. Yeah, 134 takes forever. It's super low pressure. Appreciate you guys for tuning in on another Sunday evening. Hopefully you guys have fantastic week. I got to get through maintenance. A lot of stuff this week. I'm just waiting for September to be over. I'm looking forward to October. But in October, okay, only when there's like some weird intermittent issues, right? But I'm looking forward to October. But we just picked up another store that has like 20 pieces of refrigeration equipment. So October will be fun too. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks again for Ambro Controls. Thanks again for everybody in the chat. And we'll see you on Thursday night for HVAC nights. Great resource. We'll talk about that too. HVAC, the best apps for HVAC technicians to have, right? HVAC school, whatever brand of probes or equipment you use, right? Field piece, Testo. And I like the Danfoss tools. I think it's called Reefer Tools or something like that. That's the one that I use. But thanks again, everybody. Great chat. And I'll see you guys Thursday and next week.